What if you suddenly lost everything and had no one by your side? Imagine waking up one day to find the world you knew slipping through your fingers, your closest allies vanishing, and secrets buried so deep that uncovering them could change humanity forever. This is the moment that thrust Sarah Carson, an aerospace engineer and Elon Musk's most trusted aide, into a whirlwind of mystery and danger. Elon Musk, the man who promised to take us to Mars and beyond, had just gone missing during a live broadcast meant to reveal astonishing new discoveries about the Red Planet. The cameras froze, the crowd gasped, and in that instant, the world's hope seemed to hang by a thread. But what was it that Elon was about to show? What truths about Mars had they tried to keep hidden from us? If you're watching this story unfold, hit subscribe and leave a comment with where you're watching from. This story might just spark a new beginning. What's one thing that always pushes you forward, even when things get tough? Sarah found her drive in the memory of her little brother's wide-eyed fascination with the stars, a light she carried even as the shadows closed in. The events that followed shook her to her core and pushed her to the edge of everything she believed in. The launch pad was buzzing with tension the day Elon announced the Mars reveal, a mission years in the making, promising to change the course of human history. Sarah stood behind the scenes, calm but alert, knowing the stakes were higher than ever. The corporate suits and government officials had grown restless, whispering doubts and veiled threats about the mission's cost and secrets. But Elon's vision was unstoppable. He believed Mars was humanity's future, and he was ready to show the world what lay beneath the dusty surface. Then, the unthinkable happened. Mid-sentence, Elon's image flickered on the massive screen, his confident smile frozen into confusion before the broadcast cut out completely. Panic rippled through the crowd. Mission Control scrambled to locate him, but Elon had vanished without a trace, leaving behind a cryptic message that hinted at discoveries so profound they could shake the foundations of science and politics alike. Sarah's heart pounded as she pieced together the fragments. There were powerful forces that didn't want this truth out, conspiracies woven through governments and corporations, all desperate to keep the Mars secrets buried. The question wasn't just where Elon was, it was what had he uncovered that made him a target. In that moment, Sarah realized her mission was no longer just about space exploration but survival and revelation. Every step forward meant risking everything she loved, from her career to her family. Yet, despite the fear gnawing at her, she felt a surge of determination. Sarah thought back to her childhood in Detroit, a city weathered by hardship but alive with hope. Her father, a strict man with dreams of stability, never understood her fascination with rockets and stars. The loss of her mother when she was 12 left a wound that only her brother's laughter could heal. They were a small team, bound by love and the unspoken promise to reach beyond the ordinary. Sarah's journey to the stars was born from those nights staring up at the sky, dreaming of something bigger than the struggles below. Now, as she faced the abyss of uncertainty, those memories fueled her courage. The halls of Mission Control echoed with whispers of betrayal. A trusted colleague, someone Sarah once called a friend, was leaking classified information, sabotaging the mission from within. The conflict intensified as government agents pressured the team to abandon the project, branding Elon's vision reckless and dangerous. In the face of mounting obstacles, Sarah found solace in her makeshift family of engineers and technicians, each carrying their own burdens but united by a shared belief. Together, they uncovered encrypted data suggesting Mars held more than just barren rock. There were signs of ancient water reserves and, astonishingly, traces of life from a long-lost era. This discovery sparked a fragile hope amidst the chaos, a beacon that something greater was possible. But just as hope began to bloom, disaster struck again. The mission's data systems were hacked, critical information erased or manipulated, pushing the launch back indefinitely. Sarah's resolve hardened. She knew the stakes were no longer scientific, they were political and deeply personal. Elon's disappearance had become a puzzle only she could solve, a race against time to find the truth and save a future on the brink of extinction. Sarah's search led her into the underbelly of the space industry, to secret facilities hidden beneath the Nevada desert and shadowy government complexes where whispers of a covert Mars colonization project lingered. Each step peeled back layers of deception, revealing alliances forged in secrecy and betrayals that cut deep. The closer she got to Elon, the more dangerous her quest became. She faced not only physical threats but emotional ones, doubts about whom she could trust, fears that she might lose herself in the labyrinth of lies. Yet, through every trial, Sarah clung to the memory of her brother's unwavering belief in her. It was that belief that carried her through dark tunnels and endless nights, reminding her that even in the coldest void, hope could shine like a distant star. Along the way, Sarah uncovered Elon's hidden message, a recording encrypted within Mars satellite data, revealing plans for a future where humanity could thrive beyond Earth. It was a blueprint for survival, a manifesto of courage and innovation that called on everyone to rise above fear and greed. This message reignited her determination, transforming her from a desperate searcher into a leader willing to face down the forces determined to silence the truth. The story you're about to follow is one of resilience, betrayal, and ultimately, hope. It's a journey through the unknown, not just across the solar system, but into the depths of what it means to be human. Sarah Carson's quest to reveal what they didn't want you to see about Mars challenges us all to look beyond the horizon and ask, what price are we willing to pay for truth, for discovery, for the chance to start anew? Stay with me, because the revelations ahead will shock you, inspire you, and maybe, just maybe, change the way you see the future. So, where are you watching from? What pushes you forward even when the odds are against you? Because if Sarah's story teaches us anything, it's that even when everything is lost, the human spirit can ignite the darkest skies and light the path to a new dawn. Hit subscribe and leave a comment with where you're watching from. This story might just spark a new beginning. What's one thing that always pushes you forward, even when things get tough? Sarah Carson's story didn't begin with rockets or stars, it began in a modest neighborhood of Detroit, where the city's grit and resilience shaped her from an early age. Born to a factory worker father and a nurse mother, Sarah learned early that life demanded toughness, but also kindness. Her father, a man of stern principles, valued stability and hard work above dreams. He saw Sarah's fascination with science fiction and space as childish fantasies that distracted from reality. Dreams don't pay the bills, he often said, his voice a mix of frustration and concern. But Sarah's mother, soft-spoken and nurturing, always encouraged her daughter's curiosity, reading her books about planets and astronauts before bedtime. Those quiet moments sparked a fire inside Sarah. A yearning to reach beyond her world, to discover what lay out there in the vast unknown. That fire grew when tragedy struck. When Sarah was 12, her mother died suddenly from a rare illness, leaving a void that swallowed the light in their small home. The loss fractured the family, her father withdrew into his grief and work, her brother Luke became distant and angry. Sarah was left to navigate the silence alone, clutching to the stars as her only solace. Luke was her anchor. Though they fought sometimes, his fierce protectiveness kept her grounded. He was the reason she kept pushing, the reason she stayed in school, the reason she dared to dream of something bigger. In high school, Sarah's talents in math and physics caught the eye of a science teacher who became her mentor, encouraging her to apply for scholarships and internships. She earned a place at MIT, becoming the first in her family to attend college. College wasn't easy. The pressure to prove herself in a world dominated by privileged peers was overwhelming, but Sarah's grit and determination saw her through. She excelled in aerospace engineering, driven by the vision of reaching Mars, a vision popularized and fueled by Elon Musk's audacious plans. When Sarah landed a coveted internship at SpaceX, she felt she was finally stepping into the orbit she'd always dreamed of. Working alongside Elon was inspiring but daunting. He was a man of contradictions, brilliant and relentless, charming and enigmatic. He demanded perfection but inspired loyalty. Sarah quickly became indispensable, not just for her technical expertise but for her ability to navigate the politics and personalities of the mission teams. Despite the high stakes and long hours, Sarah found moments of connection. Friendships forged in late-night brainstorming sessions, laughter shared over coffee breaks, and an unspoken camaraderie rooted in a shared passion for exploration. Yet, even within this bubble of innovation, cracks appeared. The mission was under pressure from government agencies wary of Musk's grand ambitions. Corporate interests jockeyed for control, and internal rivalries threatened to unravel years of work. Sarah watched as people she trusted made choices that tested her own values. As Elon's mission to Mars moved closer to launch, Sarah's personal life remained a fragile thread. Her relationship with Luke was strained, his resentment over their fractured family sometimes spilled into anger at her absence. A chance to reconnect came when Luke was diagnosed with a chronic illness. Suddenly, the urgency to make a difference took on new meaning. Sarah's work wasn't just about Mars anymore, it was about creating a legacy her brother could believe in. Balancing the emotional weight of her family with the demands of the mission was exhausting. Late nights turned into early mornings, stress manifested in headaches and restless sleep. Yet, every challenge reinforced Sarah's resolve. She wasn't just fighting for a job or a dream, she was fighting for hope. The day Elon announced the Mars reveal was electric. The media buzzed with speculation about what secrets would be unveiled. Sarah stood behind the scenes, watching Elon speak about the future of humanity, about colonizing Mars and harnessing resources that could sustain life. His passion was contagious, igniting hope in millions. But beneath the optimism, Sarah sensed an undercurrent of danger, whispers about data that had been suppressed, warnings about what was really hidden beneath Mars' surface. Then, during the live broadcast, Elon's sudden disappearance sent shockwaves. Sarah's instincts told her this was no accident. The mission team was thrown into chaos, but Sarah took control, piecing together clues from encrypted files and encrypted transmissions. She discovered that Elon had been on the verge of revealing evidence that Mars once had water, and signs of microbial life. This revelation would upend decades of scientific consensus and challenge powerful interests invested in controlling space exploration narratives. As Sarah dug deeper, she faced betrayal from a close colleague who leaked mission details to media outlets, causing public outcry and governmental interference. The trust Sarah had placed in her team was shattered. Still, she found allies among engineers and scientists who believed in the mission's true purpose. Together, they worked in secret to protect Elon's findings. The stakes escalated when mission data was hacked, crippling communication and delaying the launch indefinitely. Sarah realized she was fighting not just to save a mission, but to protect the future of humanity's exploration of Mars. The pressure mounted as threats against her grew. Shadowy figures warned her to back down. But Sarah's resolve only strengthened. Drawing strength from memories of her brother's unwavering faith and her mother's gentle encouragement, she vowed to uncover the truth no matter the cost. Venturing beyond the familiar confines of mission control, Sarah embarked on a covert journey into the hidden layers of the space program, secret bunkers, classified labs, and encrypted networks. The journey tested her physically and emotionally, exposing her to dangers she had never imagined. Along the way, she uncovered a clandestine government project aimed at colonizing Mars decades ago, its existence suppressed to avoid political backlash. The discovery revealed not only technological advances far beyond public knowledge but ethical dilemmas about humanity's right to claim another world. Amidst this, Sarah grappled with loneliness and betrayal. Trust became a precious commodity. Each new ally brought questions: were they truly on her side or pawns of the conspiracy? Yet, hope flickered in unexpected places, a whispered message from Elon hidden within satellite data, a code embedded in Mars topography, a promise of survival and renewal. This message ignited a fire within Sarah, transforming her from a seeker of truth into a leader poised to challenge the forces arrayed against her. The story of Sarah Carson is a testament to resilience, to the power of dreams forged in the crucible of loss and love. It's a journey not only across the solar system but into the heart of what it means to fight for the future. The mission to Mars is more than science, it is a human story of sacrifice, hope, and the unbreakable will to reach for the stars despite the darkness. As you watch this story unfold, remember, what pushes you forward in your darkest moments? For Sarah, it was the memory of family, the spark of a dream, and the unyielding belief that humanity's destiny lies not just on Earth but among the stars. Sarah stood in the cold glow of mission control, watching the screens flicker with lines of code and telemetry data, but her mind was somewhere else, trapped in the chaos that was unfolding around her. The air was thick with tension, voices overlapping in clipped commands and urgent whispers. Elon's disappearance had sent shockwaves through the team, but what made it worse was the growing divide between those who still believed in the mission and those who saw it as a lost cause. The executives had started to question everything. Corporate leaders feared the mounting costs and political backlash, government officials worried about national security and the implications of Musk's revelations. The walls seemed to close in on Sarah as meetings grew heated, alliances shifted, and trust became scarce. She had always known that working at the forefront of space exploration meant navigating pressure, but nothing had prepared her for this storm. Among the murmurs, Sarah caught wind of a betrayal that cut deeper than any external threat, a leak from within their own ranks. Someone was feeding confidential information to the media, stirring panic and distrust. The leak wasn't just a breach of protocol, it threatened to derail the entire mission and jeopardize the discoveries Elon had fought so hard to protect. Sarah's heart sank as she sifted through the evidence. The trail pointed disturbingly close to someone she had once considered a friend, a fellow engineer whose ambition had blinded them to the consequences. Confronting betrayal was a brutal reminder that even in the pursuit of greatness, human flaws could unravel progress. Yet, amidst the turmoil, Sarah found pockets of hope. The ground crew, a group often overlooked in the shadow of executives and scientists, rallied behind her. Their passion and dedication became a lifeline, a reminder that the mission was more than a project, it was a shared dream. Together, they uncovered encrypted fragments of data suggesting that Mars was not the dead world everyone believed it to be. There were signs of water beneath the surface, dormant reservoirs waiting to be tapped, and hints of microbial life that could rewrite textbooks. The implications were staggering. This discovery fueled Sarah's resolve, lighting a path through the dark corridors of doubt and conspiracy. But just as hope began to swell, disaster struck again. The mission's critical systems were breached by hackers, crippling communications and erasing vital data. Launch timelines were pushed back indefinitely. Fingers pointed in every direction, paranoia spreading like wildfire. Sarah felt the weight of responsibility crush her. The enemies were no longer just faceless entities, they were within reach, their motives hidden behind layers of secrecy and manipulation. She realized that finding Elon was no longer enough. To save the mission, she had to expose the truth behind the conspiracy, no matter the personal cost. As she delved deeper, Sarah's search led her into the shadows of the space program's infrastructure, secret bunkers hidden beneath the Nevada desert, classified laboratories cloaked in government secrecy, and underground networks where whispers of a covert Mars colonization project echoed. Each discovery peeled back layers of deception, revealing alliances forged in backrooms and deals made at the expense of transparency. The journey tested her physically and emotionally. Nights blurred into days as she navigated tunnels and encrypted databases, facing threats from unknown actors determined to keep the Mars secrets buried. Trust became a fragile commodity, every new face brought suspicion. Yet, the memory of her brother Luke, battling illness but never losing faith in her, kept her moving forward. In one of the darkest moments, Sarah stumbled upon a hidden message encoded in Mars satellite data, a recording from Elon himself. The message was a blueprint for humanity's survival beyond Earth, a call to unite and embrace the unknown. It was a manifesto of courage, innovation, and hope. Finding this message transformed Sarah. She was no longer just an engineer or a seeker of truth, she was a leader tasked with carrying the torch forward. But the stakes were higher than ever. Forces arrayed against her intensified, determined to silence her and bury Elon's legacy. The climax approached with every confrontation, every revelation, pushing Sarah to the brink. Yet, she remained unbroken, fueled by memories of loss and love, driven by the belief that humanity's destiny was among the stars. As tensions peaked, Sarah faced her greatest challenge, a showdown with the conspirators who would sacrifice everything to keep the truth hidden. The battle was not just physical but ideological, a fight for the soul of exploration and the future of the human race. The mission to Mars was no longer just about science and technology, it was about trust, sacrifice, and the enduring power of hope. Through it all, Sarah's character grew, shaped by hardship, betrayal, and the unwavering pursuit of a dream. The story of their struggle invites us to question what we're willing to risk for progress and what it truly means to reach for the stars. As you follow Sarah's journey, ask yourself, when faced with impossible odds, what keeps you going? For Sarah, it was the memory of family, the spark of a dream, and the unbreakable human spirit that refuses to let go. Sarah's journey into the shadows of the space program pushed her far beyond anything she had ever imagined. The secret Nevada facility where she now found herself was cold and sterile, a labyrinth of steel corridors and blinking consoles humming with hidden activity. Every step echoed, a reminder that she was far from the public eye, and that discovery here came with risks not just to her career but to her very life. She had followed encrypted leads embedded deep within the satellite data, clues that Elon had hidden deliberately, like a breadcrumb trail for someone brave enough to find it. What she uncovered shook her to her core, a covert government project codenamed Ares Dawn, launched decades earlier with the mission of establishing a clandestine human presence on Mars. This project had been erased from all official records, hidden under layers of classified files and misinformation. The implications were staggering. If humans had been on Mars before, and if technology far more advanced than publicly known existed, then everything Elon was fighting for was bigger than anyone suspected. But it wasn't just technology, it was the ethics of colonization, the moral weight of rewriting humanity's place in the universe without public consent. Sarah's pulse quickened as she accessed a sealed archive, a digital vault containing footage, scientific reports, and first-hand accounts from the original Ares Dawn mission members. The footage showed barren landscapes, but beneath the surface, sensors detected flowing water and signs of microbial ecosystems. There were also glimpses of underground habitats and experiments that seemed decades ahead of what the public knew. Her mind reeled. This wasn't just exploration, it was a shadow war over humanity's future, fought with secrecy and silence. Yet, amidst the cold data, Sarah found a thread of humanity. The logs of a scientist who questioned the mission's morality, who warned that tampering with Mars could have irreversible consequences. This scientist's voice, filled with doubt and hope, resonated deeply with Sarah, mirroring her own fears about the mission she was now spearheading. The deeper Sarah delved, the more she realized that the conspiracy ran deeper than she feared. Powerful factions within the government and private sector had interests in controlling Mars' resources and the narrative around colonization. These forces feared that Elon's revelations would undermine their power and profits. The battle wasn't just about technology, it was about control, information, and the future of human civilization. Sarah's determination crystallized into a fierce resolve. She couldn't let fear and greed dictate humanity's next step. Armed with the data she had uncovered, she reached out to trusted allies within the scientific community and the media, carefully releasing fragments of the truth to garner public support without compromising security. Each leak was a calculated risk, but the response was overwhelming. Public fascination and pressure mounted, forcing governments to acknowledge the existence of the secret Mars program and demanding transparency. But the pushback was swift and severe. Sarah found herself the target of smear campaigns and covert surveillance. Her communications were monitored, and attempts were made to isolate her from her team. Yet, in the face of intimidation, Sarah's leadership shone. Her courage inspired a movement of scientists, engineers, and ordinary citizens who believed in the right to know and the dream of Mars. As public opinion shifted, the mission regained momentum. Sarah coordinated efforts to secure funding and rebuild the sabotaged systems. Together, her team worked tirelessly, their camaraderie a beacon of hope amidst the storm. Meanwhile, the encrypted message from Elon continued to guide her. A roadmap not just for survival on Mars, but for forging a new way of living that respected the planet and honored humanity's collective future. As launch day approached once more, tensions reached a fever pitch. Security was tighter than ever, and threats lurked in every shadow. Sarah grappled with the emotional toll, the fear for her own safety, the strain on her relationships, and the weight of responsibility for a mission that represented the hopes of millions. Yet, standing on the launch pad, surrounded by the hum of rockets and the eyes of the world, she felt a surge of calm and clarity. This was more than a mission, it was a testament to resilience, to the power of truth, and to the unyielding human spirit. The countdown began. As the engines ignited and the rocket pierced the sky, Sarah looked up with a mixture of awe and determination. The journey to Mars was just beginning, but so was a new chapter for humanity, one written not in shadows, but in the light of discovery and hope. The story of Sarah Carson and the hidden truths of Mars reminds us that even in the darkest moments, courage and conviction can illuminate the path forward. What will you choose to believe when the stars call? Sarah's life after the launch was a whirlwind of chaos and triumph, a complex dance between the promise of the mission and the burdens it carried. The rocket's roar faded into the night sky, but its echoes remained, a reminder that the journey to Mars was no longer just a dream, it was reality. Inside Mission Control, the atmosphere was electric yet tense. Every screen displayed vital data, every voice carried urgency. The team watched as the spacecraft cleared Earth's atmosphere and entered the void of space, where silence was absolute and danger ever present. For Sarah, the successful launch was a bittersweet victory. Elon's disappearance still haunted her, his message had become a guiding light, but the man himself remained missing, a ghost in the system. As days turned into weeks, Sarah took on the mantle of leadership with quiet strength. She navigated the treacherous waters of politics, funding challenges, and media scrutiny, all while keeping the mission's true purpose alive. The world was watching, divided between awe and skepticism. Behind the scenes, Sarah and her core team wrestled with technical obstacles and unexpected anomalies. Mars, it seemed, was not the barren wasteland once thought. Early scans revealed shifting terrains and mysterious energy signatures, clues that the planet was more dynamic than anticipated. Each discovery deepened the mystery and fueled Sarah's resolve. The revelation of microbial life beneath the Martian surface was soon confirmed by remote probes. The news sent shockwaves through the scientific community and beyond. Humanity was no longer alone, not in the cosmic sense. This discovery posed profound questions about life, evolution, and our place in the universe. But with wonder came fear. Governments debated the implications of contact with extraterrestrial life and the ethics of colonizing a planet that already harbored life forms, however simple. Tensions escalated as factions argued over protocols and control. Sarah found herself at the heart of a new kind of conflict, not just technological or political, but moral. As she grappled with these challenges, Sarah's personal life frayed. Luke's health declined rapidly, his illness a stark reminder of mortality and the preciousness of time. Their once strained relationship softened as they shared moments of vulnerability and hope. Luke became Sarah's anchor, his faith in her mission unwavering even as his own strength waned. One night, while reviewing mission logs, Sarah received an encrypted message from an unexpected source. A whistleblower within the government who confirmed the existence of an even older Mars mission, predating Ares' dawn. This revelation sent Sarah down a new rabbit hole, uncovering evidence of experiments that blurred the lines between science and ethics, human ambition and hubris. The deeper she went, the more she understood that Mars was not just a new frontier but a mirror reflecting humanity's greatest hopes and darkest fears. Faced with mounting opposition and internal doubts, Sarah leaned on her growing network of allies, scientists, engineers, activists, and everyday citizens who believed in transparency and ethical exploration. Together, they organized public forums, published research, and held press conferences that shifted the narrative. The mission evolved from a secretive endeavor into a symbol of collective human curiosity and responsibility. Meanwhile, the physical journey to Mars intensified. The crew aboard the spacecraft faced isolation, technical failures, and psychological strain. Sarah coordinated support from Earth, balancing hope with harsh realities. When the crew finally landed, the sight that greeted them was both beautiful and haunting: vast red plains stretching endlessly, ancient riverbeds etched into the soil, and a sky tinged with a pale blue glow. The mission's scientific goals expanded to include preserving Mars's delicate ecosystems and establishing a sustainable presence without repeating Earth's mistakes. Sarah's leadership was tested further as she mediated disputes over priorities and resources, all while managing the growing spotlight from media and governments. Throughout it all, she remained driven by a simple truth she shared with her team. Exploration was not just about discovery, but about stewardship, caring for a new world with humility and respect. In a quiet moment, standing beneath the stars that shone differently from Earth, Sarah reflected on the journey, the losses, the betrayals, the moments of hope. She thought of her mother's gentle encouragement, her father's hard lessons, and Luke's unwavering faith. The mission to Mars had become more than a quest; it was a legacy of love, sacrifice, and unyielding human spirit. As Sarah prepared to send the next transmission to Earth, she paused to ask herself and the world watching, what does it mean to truly belong, to a planet, to a family, to a destiny beyond the stars? The answer, she knew, would shape not just the future of space exploration, but the future of humanity itself. And so, with courage and hope, Sarah Carson's story continued, an epic journey of resilience, discovery, and the unbreakable will to reach for the unknown. Sarah Carson never imagined that her journey to uncover the truth about Mars would become a crucible testing every fiber of her being. After the spacecraft's landing, the mission shifted from theoretical science to raw, unfiltered reality. The red dust clung to every surface, the thin atmosphere whispered eerie silence, and the stark landscape held secrets waiting to be unraveled. As the lead engineer and mission coordinator, Sarah was thrust into a role that demanded not only technical expertise but emotional resilience and leadership under pressure. The first days on Mars were a whirlwind. The crew faced unexpected equipment malfunctions, life support systems faltered, communication arrays sputtered, and power reserves dipped precariously low. The unforgiving environment revealed its harshness without mercy. Sarah worked around the clock, her mind racing through troubleshooting protocols and contingency plans, while managing a team's mounting anxiety. The isolation pressed down on them, the thin walls of their habitat were a fragile barrier against the vast alien wilderness. Yet amidst the adversity, discoveries emerged that ignited their spirits. Geological samples hinted at past water flows, microscopic analyses unveiled traces of life's building blocks beneath the surface. It was as if Mars was revealing a hidden narrative, one of transformation and resilience across eons. These revelations reinforced the mission's importance and Sarah's determination. However, beneath the scientific breakthroughs lay an undercurrent of tension. The crew's psychological well-being became a pressing concern. Confined quarters bred irritability, and cultural differences sparked misunderstandings. Sarah found herself mediating conflicts, reminding everyone of their shared purpose. She organized group discussions to process fears and hopes, fostering a fragile but essential camaraderie. Meanwhile, back on Earth, political and corporate pressures intensified. Competing interests jockeyed for control over Mars's resources and future governance. Sarah received veiled threats, warning her to cease exposing sensitive information about the hidden missions and microbial life discoveries. Yet, her resolve hardened. She saw herself as a guardian, not just of scientific truth but of humanity's ethical responsibility toward a new world. One pivotal moment arrived when a severe dust storm engulfed the habitat, cutting power and communication. In the eerie darkness, Sarah led the crew through emergency protocols, their survival hinging on calm coordination and unwavering trust. The storm's fury was a harsh reminder of Mars's power and the fragility of their presence. Emerging from the ordeal, the crew's bond deepened, united by shared vulnerability and triumph. During quieter moments, Sarah reflected on her personal journey. The memory of her brother Luke, now hospitalized and frail, was both a source of pain and inspiration. Their last conversation had been raw and honest, a testament to unconditional love amidst hardship. Sarah promised to carry forward his belief in the mission's greater purpose, fueling her perseverance. Her leadership evolved, blending technical acumen with empathy and vision. She advocated for transparency with Earth, pushing for open dialogue about the mission's risks and discoveries, even as certain factions sought to suppress information. The global public's reaction was a complex mosaic of wonder, fear, skepticism, and hope. Sarah embraced this complexity, understanding that humanity's first steps on Mars were as much about confronting internal fears as exploring external frontiers. Scientific breakthroughs continued as the crew drilled deeper beneath the surface, uncovering subterranean lakes of briny water and previously unknown microorganisms thriving in extreme conditions. These findings challenged established theories and opened new avenues for astrobiology and planetary science. But the mission's greatest challenge loomed, the ethical dilemma of interacting with Martian life forms. Sarah led intense debates within the team and with Earth-based advisors about contamination risks, preservation, and the potential for terraforming. The question of humanity's right to alter another world tested their moral compass. The weight of these decisions weighed heavily on Sarah. She grappled with the legacy they were crafting. Would humanity be the caretakers of Mars or its conquerors? The answers were uncertain, but her commitment to thoughtful stewardship remained steadfast. As months passed, the mission's impact rippled across Earth. Educational programs flourished, inspiring a new generation of explorers. International cooperation improved, fueled by a shared sense of awe and responsibility. Sarah's story became a beacon, illustrating that space exploration was not just about technology but about the enduring human spirit. In a quiet moment beneath the Martian stars, Sarah sent a message to Luke, sharing the discoveries and the lessons learned. She spoke of hope, resilience, and the belief that even in the harshest environments, life and love could endure. Her journey, from a grieving girl in Detroit to a leader on Mars, embodied the transformative power of courage and connection. The mission to Mars was far from over, but Sarah knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, humanity's future was intertwined with the lessons of this red planet. It was a story of sacrifice, discovery, and the unyielding pursuit of a dream that transcended borders and generations. And as she gazed at the distant blue dot they called home, Sarah felt a profound truth settle within her: life is fragile, precious, and full of surprises, but love, curiosity, and hope will always guide the way. Sarah's position on Mars evolved quickly from engineer to de facto leader, a role that weighed heavily on her but ignited her fiercest determination. The mission had transformed from a scientific expedition into a profound test of humanity's ability to adapt, survive, and make ethical choices on an alien world. The red planet's harshness was matched only by the complexity of the human drama unfolding within the small crew and across the political arenas on Earth. In the weeks following the dust storm, the team faced a new and unexpected challenge: a malfunction in the water recycling system that threatened their entire habitat's viability. Without clean water, survival was impossible. Sarah coordinated an emergency repair operation, working side by side with technicians and scientists, hands dirty, minds racing to solve the puzzle. The pressure was immense, every failure could mean death, every success a fragile victory. But it wasn't just technical problems that tested the mission. Interpersonal conflict simmered beneath the surface, stress and isolation exposing raw nerves and old grievances. Sarah found herself acting as mediator, counselor, and sometimes disciplinarian, navigating cultural differences and clashing personalities to keep the team united. She realized that leadership on Mars required more than expertise; it demanded empathy, emotional intelligence, and the ability to inspire hope when the horizon seemed bleak. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the political landscape shifted dramatically. News of microbial life on Mars ignited fierce debates over planetary protection protocols and the potential commercial exploitation of Martian resources. Governments, corporations, and activist groups clashed over control, transparency, and the future of space colonization. Sarah became a reluctant spokesperson, fielding questions from reporters and addressing public concerns while advocating for responsible exploration. Amidst this turmoil, an anonymous leak revealed classified documents about a covert operation to establish a permanent Mars colony decades before, confirming suspicions Sarah had uncovered earlier. The revelation sparked outrage and distrust, challenging the legitimacy of the mission and complicating international cooperation. Sarah's resolve was tested as she balanced the pursuit of truth with the need to maintain unity and focus among her team and allies. As the crew continued their exploration, they uncovered signs of ancient civilizations, structures buried beneath the dust, geometric formations hinting at intelligent design. These findings sent shockwaves through the scientific community and posed profound questions about humanity's place in the cosmos. Was Mars once home to a species that paved the way for life on Earth? The mystery deepened, intertwining science with philosophy and spirituality. Sarah grappled with the enormity of these discoveries, aware that their implications extended far beyond the mission's original goals. In a pivotal moment, the team discovered a subterranean cavern filled with crystalline formations emitting faint energy pulses. The environment supported previously unknown life forms, symbiotic ecosystems thriving in darkness. The discovery challenged existing paradigms about life's resilience and adaptability, offering hope for humanity's own survival in harsh conditions. But it also raised ethical questions. How should humans interact with these ecosystems? What responsibilities came with colonizing a living planet? Sarah led rigorous debates, pushing for policies that prioritized preservation and respect over exploitation. The tension between exploration and conservation became a central theme of the mission, reflecting broader societal dilemmas. As months passed, the psychological toll of isolation and responsibility deepened. Crew members experienced bouts of depression, anxiety, and homesickness. Sarah organized mental health protocols, encouraging open communication and support networks. She shared her own vulnerabilities, fostering trust and solidarity. Her leadership style evolved into one marked by transparency, compassion, and resilience. On Earth, public interest surged, with educational programs inspiring youth and renewed calls for space exploration funding. Yet, the mission remained politically fraught, with factions lobbying for dominance and control. Sarah navigated these complexities with increasing skill, leveraging media, science, and diplomacy to advance the mission's ethical vision. A breakthrough came when the crew successfully cultivated sustainable crops within the habitat's controlled environment, an essential step toward long-term self-sufficiency. This achievement bolstered morale and demonstrated the feasibility of human life beyond Earth. It symbolized the fusion of technology, nature, and human ingenuity. As the mission approached its one-year mark, Sarah reflected on the journey. The mission had transformed her, from a driven engineer to a leader embodying humanity's highest ideals. She had faced betrayal, loss, and doubt but emerged with a clearer vision, that space exploration must be a force for unity, learning, and stewardship. She knew the road ahead would remain challenging, but the mission's successes offered hope that humanity could rise to the occasion. In a message broadcast to Earth, Sarah spoke candidly about the mission's discoveries and struggles, calling for global cooperation and respect for the unknown. Her words resonated deeply, inspiring renewed commitment to exploration grounded in ethics and shared destiny. As she looked out over the Martian landscape, vast, ancient, and alive with mystery, Sarah felt a profound connection to the past, present, and future. The mission was no longer just about reaching Mars, it was about redefining what it meant to be human in the face of the cosmos. And in that moment, beneath the pale Martian sky, she understood that the greatest journey was not across planets but within ourselves. Toward courage, compassion, and hope. Sarah Carson sat alone in the dim glow of the habitat's control room, the red Martian landscape stretching endlessly beyond the thick, reinforced windows. The silence of space was profound, but inside her mind, a storm raged, questions without answers, fears shadowed by hope. It had been over 18 months since the crew landed, and the mission had evolved far beyond its initial scope. The discovery of microbial life and ancient structures beneath Mars's surface had challenged everything humanity thought it knew. Yet, with every breakthrough came deeper uncertainties. The crew had settled into routines, yet the alien world never ceased to remind them of its unpredictability. Recent seismic activity had rattled the habitat, causing minor damage and renewed concern about Mars's geological volatility. Sarah coordinated rapid repairs, her mind sharp despite the exhaustion that crept into her bones. The psychological toll on the team was evident. Isolation, homesickness, and the ever-present danger weighed heavily. Sarah held regular meetings to address mental health, encouraging openness and vulnerability, a lifeline in the vast loneliness of space. Back on Earth, political tensions escalated. Governments debated the implications of Mars's microbial life, sparking international disputes over rights and responsibilities. Corporate interests eyed Mars's minerals and water reserves, pushing agendas that clashed with the mission's ethical framework. Sarah found herself navigating a minefield of diplomacy and advocacy, balancing transparency with security. One day, a new message arrived, encrypted and anonymous, hinting at yet another layer of secrets buried within the Martian soil. It referenced a clandestine project predating all known missions, involving experiments that blurred the line between science and morality. The message urged caution and vigilance, warning that not all who sought Mars's secrets had humanity's best interests at heart. Sarah shared the message with her closest advisors, igniting fierce debate. Trust was fragile, alliances were tested. The revelation deepened Sarah's resolve to lead with integrity, ensuring that exploration honored both scientific truth and ethical responsibility. Meanwhile, the crew uncovered a vast subterranean network of caverns, their walls adorned with patterns that suggested intelligence and art. The find sent ripples of awe and speculation through the mission and the global community. Were these the remnants of a long-lost Martian civilization, or something else entirely? The question haunted Sarah, intertwining with her own reflections on humanity's past and future. As the mission entered its second year, Sarah faced personal challenges as well. News from Earth was bittersweet. Luke's condition had stabilized but remained precarious. Their correspondence, sparse but heartfelt, sustained her in moments of doubt. She often thought of her parents, their sacrifices, and the path that had brought her here, a journey fueled by love, loss, and unyielding determination. The crew's work continued with renewed vigor, balancing scientific inquiry with the imperative to protect Mars's fragile ecosystems. Sarah championed policies that prioritized conservation, fostering a culture of respect and responsibility. The mission became a model of sustainable exploration, inspiring initiatives across Earth's space agencies and educational institutions. One evening, as Sarah reviewed data beneath the shimmering Martian stars, she felt a profound sense of connection, a thread linking past explorers, current challenges, and future generations. The mission was not just about discovery but about hope, resilience, and the enduring human spirit. In a broadcast to Earth, Sarah shared this vision, urging unity and humility as humanity ventured into the cosmos. Her words resonated, sparking a global dialogue about our shared destiny among the stars. As she prepared for the next phase, expanding the habitat, deepening scientific study, and fostering international collaboration, Sarah carried with her the lessons learned, that exploration must be tempered with ethics, that courage is born of compassion, and that love, whether for family, planet, or future, guides us through the unknown. The Red Planet held many secrets yet, but Sarah knew that the greatest discoveries would come not just from technology or data but from the hearts and minds of those willing to dream and dare. The mission's third year on Mars began under an uneasy sky, the red horizon streaked with dust storms that reminded the crew of the planet's untamed nature. Sarah Carson stood before the main viewport, absorbing the vast, alien landscape, a panorama both beautiful and relentless. Every day was a balance of survival and discovery, a tightrope walk between hope and hardship. The mission had matured from a daring expedition into a pioneering endeavor to establish humanity's foothold on another world, but the costs were tangible, physical, psychological, and moral. The subterranean caverns they had discovered months earlier became the focus of intense study. Within those shadowed halls, crystalline structures pulsed with faint energy signatures, and strange organic formations hinted at a biological network unlike anything known on Earth. The scientific team, led by Dr. Elena Morales, worked tirelessly, pushing instruments to their limits to understand the ecosystem's complexity. Sarah often joined these sessions, fascinated yet cautious. The implications of tampering with these ecosystems weighed heavily on her conscience. Was humanity prepared to encounter life so different, so intertwined with its environment? The question echoed through every decision. Meanwhile, the geopolitical situation on Earth grew more volatile. The revelation of classified Mars missions decades prior had shattered trust between nations, and corporate interests vied for influence in the unfolding drama. Sarah's communications were monitored, sometimes censored, and threats, veiled and direct, arrived with increasing frequency. Yet she remained undeterred. Her vision of Mars as a shared frontier, governed by ethics and collaboration, was more vital than ever. Within the crew, tensions rose. The stress of isolation, combined with the weight of responsibility, frayed nerves and sparked conflicts. Sarah found herself mediating disputes over resources, research priorities, and personal grievances. Her leadership was tested not just by the harsh environment but by the fragility of human bonds. She instituted new mental health protocols, encouraging openness and peer support, and sought to build resilience through shared purpose. Personal letters from Earth brought solace, updates on Luke's slow recovery, her mother's unwavering support, and messages from students inspired by the mission. These connections, fragile threads across millions of miles, fueled Sarah's determination. One breakthrough came when the team successfully adapted Earth crops to grow within Martian soil simulants, an achievement promising sustainable food sources for future colonies. This success lifted spirits and reaffirmed the mission's long-term viability. Yet, with every advancement came new ethical dilemmas. The idea of terraforming Mars, altering its atmosphere and ecology to support human life, stirred debate both on Mars and Earth. Sarah wrestled with the consequences of such interventions, mindful of the microbial life and ancient ecosystems that might be disrupted. The tension between human ambition and environmental stewardship was stark and unresolved. As winter approached, bringing longer nights and harsher conditions, the crew prepared for extended isolation periods. Sarah used the time to reflect deeply on the mission's journey and her own transformation. From a young engineer driven by curiosity and loss, she had grown into a leader embodying humanity's highest ideals, courage tempered by compassion, ambition balanced with humility. In a private transmission to Earth, Sarah shared her hopes and fears, urging a renewed commitment to ethical exploration and global cooperation. Her message resonated widely, sparking renewed dialogue among policymakers, scientists, and the public. The mission to Mars had become a mirror reflecting humanity's potential and pitfalls, a story of resilience and responsibility writ large on the canvas of the cosmos. One night, while monitoring seismic data, the crew detected unusual activity beneath the habitat, a faint rhythmic pulse unlike any natural phenomenon. Investigations revealed a previously unknown chamber within the caverns, filled with bioluminescent organisms forming intricate patterns. The discovery reignited wonder and raised profound questions about intelligence and communication beyond Earth. Sarah led a cautious exploration, documenting every detail while emphasizing respect for this new form of life. The experience deepened the crew's sense of humility and awe, reinforcing the mission's core principle, to explore not to conquer, to learn rather than to dominate. As the third year drew to a close, Sarah felt a profound sense of connection, to the crew, to Mars, and to humanity's shared future. The journey was far from over, but the lessons learned on this alien world offered a roadmap for hope, courage, and ethical stewardship. The Red Planet was no longer just a destination, it was a teacher, challenging humanity to grow beyond its past and reach toward a more compassionate, unified future. And as Sarah gazed out over the rust-colored plains, she whispered a promise, to honor the fragile life around her, to lead with integrity, and to carry the torch of exploration forward, lighting the way for generations yet to come. Sarah Carson's fourth year on Mars was marked by profound shifts, scientific breakthroughs, escalating challenges, and an inner transformation that echoed the evolving mission itself. The habitat, once a fragile refuge, now stood as a testament to human ingenuity and resilience, yet its walls enclosed a microcosm of humanity's hopes and fears. The discoveries beneath the Martian surface continued to astonish and mystify. The bioluminescent chamber discovered the previous year became a focal point for research, revealing a complex network of life forms communicating through light and chemical signals. Dr. Elena Morales and her team worked tirelessly to decode this language, while Sarah balanced the urgent demands of leadership with the ethical considerations that the discoveries demanded. The crew faced a new ethical dilemma when plans emerged to extract samples from the bioluminescent ecosystem for Earth-based study. Sarah spearheaded intense discussions weighing scientific advancement against the risk of damaging a pristine, living system. The debate echoed broader conversations about humanity's responsibilities as explorers and custodians of new worlds. In the habitat's common area, tensions occasionally flared, differences in culture, stress, and fatigue tested bonds forged in isolation. Sarah's role expanded beyond mission commander to counselor and mediator. She implemented new protocols encouraging mental wellness, peer support, and open dialogue, fostering an environment where vulnerability was met with compassion rather than judgment. The psychological health of the crew was as vital as their physical safety, and Sarah's empathy became a cornerstone of their survival. Political pressures from Earth intensified. Leaked documents revealed rival factions seeking to privatize Mars's resources, threatening the mission's ethical framework. Sarah navigated these treacherous waters with strategic diplomacy, advocating for international treaties that prioritized cooperation and preservation over exploitation. Public interest in the mission surged, inspiring educational programs and space advocacy worldwide. Yet Sarah remained cautious, aware that enthusiasm must be tempered by realism and responsibility. In personal moments, she found strength in correspondence with Luke, whose health slowly improved. Their conversations, raw, honest, and filled with mutual encouragement, were a lifeline across the void. Sarah also wrote to her parents, sharing the mission's triumphs and trials, grounding herself in the love and sacrifice that had shaped her path. One of the year's most significant scientific advances was the successful cultivation of Martian algae in artificial ponds within the habitat, a breakthrough promising sustainable oxygen production and biofuel sources. The experiment's success underscored the delicate balance between innovation and respect for the planet's existing ecosystems. As winter's long nights descended, the crew braced for isolation intensified by the planet's harsh conditions. Sarah used this time for deep reflection, grappling with the mission's broader meaning. The discoveries challenged humanity's understanding of life, intelligence, and interconnectedness. The Red Planet was no longer just a destination but a mirror reflecting humanity's own nature. Its capacity for curiosity, destruction, and redemption. During a rare communication window with Earth, Sarah addressed a global audience, sharing insights and urging a collective commitment to ethical exploration. Her message resonated deeply, fostering renewed dialogue on space policy and humanity's shared responsibility beyond Earth. The crew's unity strengthened as they faced another unexpected challenge, a minor breach in the habitat's outer shell caused by shifting ice beneath the surface. The emergency galvanized the team, reaffirming their resilience and interdependence. Sarah led repair efforts with calm authority, her leadership a beacon amid uncertainty. The event also prompted renewed safety protocols, emphasizing vigilance and adaptability. Throughout the year, Sarah continued to wrestle with the ethical questions surrounding terraforming and colonization. The potential to alter Mars's environment to support human life was tantalizing yet fraught with risk. Could humanity justify changing a living planet for its own needs? Sarah's leadership emphasized humility and caution, advocating for policies that honored Mars's intrinsic value. As the fourth year came to a close, the mission stood at a crossroads. Scientific achievements promised new horizons, yet challenges, political, ethical, environmental, loomed large. Sarah's journey mirrored this complexity. From a driven engineer shaped by personal loss, she had become a leader embodying the highest ideals of courage, compassion, and wisdom. Her vision extended beyond the mission itself to a broader hope for humanity's future, one grounded in respect for life, unity across borders, and the enduring spirit of exploration. Beneath the Martian sky, Sarah sent a message to Earth, a testament to the mission's essence: we stand not as conquerors, but as humble students of this red world. In its silence, we hear the call to care, to learn, and to dream together. Mars teaches us that our greatest discoveries lie not just in distant stars, but within ourselves. The red planet, once a distant, barren landscape, had become a place of life, mystery, and profound transformation, both for the planet and for those daring enough to call it home. Hit subscribe and leave a comment with where you're watching from. This story might just spark a new beginning. What's one thing that always pushes you forward, even when things get tough? Sarah Carson's 5th year on Mars began with a renewed sense of purpose, yet the shadows of uncertainty lingered like the ever-present dust storms swirling outside the habitat's reinforced windows. The mission had evolved from a daring leap of faith into a complex saga of survival, discovery, and ethical dilemmas. The bioluminescent life forms within the subterranean caverns continued to captivate scientists, revealing astonishing complexity and prompting questions about consciousness and communication beyond Earth. Dr. Elena Morales led the groundbreaking research, collaborating closely with the team to decipher the intricate patterns of light and chemical signals that pulsed through the alien ecosystem. Sarah found herself both inspired and humbled by these discoveries, aware that their implications extended far beyond the realm of science into philosophy and spirituality. The crew's daily life was a delicate dance of routine and adaptation. Food cultivation experiments progressed steadily, with the successful integration of Martian algae into oxygen production systems marking a milestone in sustainable habitat operations. Yet, the psychological toll of isolation and responsibility weighed heavily. Sarah intensified mental health initiatives, fostering an environment where openness was encouraged and emotional resilience cultivated. Conflicts occasionally arose, but the crew's shared mission and mutual respect formed a sturdy foundation. On Earth, political tensions persisted. Leaked documents and competing corporate interests threatened the mission's fragile ethical framework. Sarah's role expanded into that of a diplomat and advocate, engaging with international coalitions to promote transparency, cooperation, and the protection of Mars's unique ecosystems. Public fascination with the mission surged, inspiring educational outreach and renewed interest in space exploration worldwide. Personal correspondence with Luke provided Sarah with solace and motivation. His gradual recovery mirrored her own journey of growth and resilience. Their exchanges, though limited by communication delays, were filled with honesty, hope, and a profound bond that transcended distance. One of the year's most significant events was the discovery of a vast network of fossilized structures beneath the Martian surface. Remnants of an ancient civilization whose existence challenged humanity's understanding of life's history in the solar system. The find ignited debates among scientists, ethicists, and policymakers. Sarah convened the crew and consulted with experts on Earth, navigating the delicate balance between exploration, preservation, and respect for potentially sentient legacies. The ethical challenges deepened as discussions about terraforming gained momentum. Proposals to alter Mars's atmosphere to support human colonization sparked fierce debate. Sarah advocated for caution, emphasizing the importance of protecting indigenous life forms and ecosystems. She urged a philosophy of coexistence rather than domination, a vision that resonated with many but faced opposition from more ambitious factions. As the Martian winter approached, bringing longer nights and colder temperatures, the crew prepared for extended periods of isolation. Sarah used this time for reflection, drawing strength from the mission's successes and grappling with its profound challenges. The Red Planet had become more than a frontier, it was a teacher, revealing humanity's strengths and vulnerabilities. Communication with Earth remained limited by distance and political complexity, but Sarah's messages inspired a global audience, reminding humanity of the shared journey beyond Earth. Unexpectedly, a minor geological shift triggered a temporary habitat breach, testing the crew's emergency protocols and unity. Sarah's decisive leadership ensured swift repairs and reinforced safety measures, reinforcing trust and resilience. Throughout the year, Sarah's leadership embodied a blend of technical expertise, emotional intelligence, and ethical conviction. She inspired her team to embrace challenges with courage and compassion, fostering a culture of mutual support and shared purpose. As the fifth year drew to a close, the mission stood at a pivotal juncture. Scientific breakthroughs and ethical dilemmas intertwined, shaping the future of Mars exploration and humanity's role in the cosmos. Sarah's journey mirrored this complexity, a transformation from a driven engineer to a visionary leader committed to stewardship, unity, and hope. Gazing out over the Martian plains, Sarah sent a message to Earth: Mars is not just a destination, it is a reflection of ourselves. Its mysteries challenge us to grow, to dream, and to care for life in all its forms. Our journey has just begun, and together, we can build a future worthy of the stars. The Red Planet, once a distant enigma, had become a place of profound discovery, ethical awakening, and human connection, an enduring testament to the spirit of exploration and the power of hope. Sarah Carson felt the weight of Mars pressing in around her like the thick red dust outside the habitat's windows. Year 6 of the mission was unfolding with a mixture of triumph and tension that tested every ounce of her leadership and resolve. The discovery of fossilized remains of an ancient Martian civilization last year had shifted the mission's trajectory, turning it from pure science into a profound reckoning with what it meant to be explorers on a living, breathing world. The team had spent countless hours analyzing the relics, deciphering symbols etched into stone tablets, and mapping subterranean ruins that hinted at advanced technologies lost to time. Dr. Elena Morales led these efforts with feverish dedication, and Sarah often joined the late-night discussions, fascinated by how each new insight deepened the mystery. The possibility that Mars had once harbored intelligent life forced Sarah to reconsider humanity's place in the universe, and the responsibilities that came with such knowledge. This wasn't just about survival or discovery anymore. It was about respect and stewardship on an interplanetary scale. Inside the habitat, the daily grind persisted. Supplies were finite, and every meal, every breath of air, was a calculated victory against the harshness of the environment. The experimental algae oxygen generators had become reliable, though fragile, and the team was preparing to begin trials with a new generation of hydroponic systems. The crew's mental health remained a priority. The psychological strain of isolation and confinement sometimes surfaced as frayed tempers and whispered doubts, but Sarah's open-door policy and weekly group therapy sessions helped maintain fragile cohesion. Political intrigue from Earth spilled over into the mission like an insidious virus. A leaked proposal by a private corporation seeking exclusive mining rights on Mars threatened to unravel the international cooperation that had been hard-won. Sarah found herself thrust into negotiations with officials on Earth, advocating fiercely for the mission's ethical guidelines and protections for Martian life and artifacts. The line between diplomacy and defiance blurred as powerful interests pushed agendas that prioritized profit over preservation. Meanwhile, communication delays persisted, messages from Earth arrived hours after being sent, and real-time conversation was impossible. This separation deepened the feeling of aloneness, making each connection, each letter from Luke, a precious lifeline. Their exchanges were sometimes fragmented, but the shared hope in those words sustained Sarah through long, lonely nights. One night, during a routine inspection, the habitat sensors picked up unusual seismic activity beneath the newly discovered ruins. The tremors revealed a hidden chamber previously undetected, a vast cavern filled with strange crystalline formations that emitted a soft, eerie glow. The crew descended carefully into this subterranean cathedral, all mingling with a palpable sense of reverence and unease. Inside, Sarah experienced a profound moment of connection. The crystals seemed to pulse with energy, a silent heartbeat echoing through the cavern. The walls bore murals depicting scenes of life and death, growth and decay, creation and destruction. It was clear this place was sacred to the ancient Martians, perhaps a repository of knowledge or a spiritual sanctuary. The discovery deepened the mission's moral complexity. Should humanity interfere, extract, study, or leave untouched? Sarah convened her team and held heartfelt discussions, weighing scientific curiosity against the imperative to honor this alien heritage. Her leadership was tested as differing opinions clashed. Some urged caution, others pressed for more aggressive study. Through it all, Sarah's resolve hardened. She reminded the crew, and herself, that they were guests on this planet, bound by respect and humility. The fragile ecosystems, the remnants of a lost civilization, and the very soil beneath their feet demanded stewardship rather than conquest. Back in the habitat, Sarah continued to cultivate a culture of openness and resilience. She encouraged crew members to share their fears and hopes, creating rituals to mark milestones and cope with grief or frustration. The mission was no longer just about science or exploration, it was about human connection and survival on a cosmic scale. As winter's grip tightened, the crew faced new technical challenges. Power systems faltered under the cold, and supply drones from Earth were delayed by storms in the upper atmosphere. Sarah coordinated quick adaptations, tapping into the crew's ingenuity and the habitat's reserves. Every small victory was celebrated, every setback met with determination. On Earth, the political landscape shifted. Public outcry over the privatization attempts swelled, bolstered by Sarah's transparent communications and appeals for unity. Governments re-engaged in cooperative treaties, though tensions simmered beneath the surface. Sarah knew the path ahead would be fraught, but the mission's ideals had sparked a global conversation about humanity's responsibilities beyond its home world. One evening, as Sarah gazed out over the Martian plains under a sky filled with unfamiliar constellations, she reflected on the journey so far. From a young engineer haunted by loss to a leader bearing the hopes of a planet, and a species, her transformation mirrored the mission's evolution. They were no longer mere explorers, they were caretakers, bridging worlds with courage and compassion. She composed a message for Earth, her words a call to action and reflection. Mars challenges us not only to discover new worlds but to discover ourselves. In the silence of its deserts, we hear a call to stewardship, unity, and hope. May our steps be gentle, our hearts open, and our dreams boundless. The Red Planet, once a distant, barren landscape, had become a crucible of humanity's highest aspirations and deepest questions. And as Sarah prepared for the coming year, full of unknowns, dangers, and promise, she knew one truth above all: the greatest journey was not the voyage across space, but the journey within. Sarah Carson's 7th year on Mars dawned with an urgency that pulled at the very core of the mission. The fragile peace maintained within the habitat was suddenly shattered by a discovery that would forever change the course of human understanding and the future of interplanetary exploration. The ancient crystalline cavern, long a subject of awe and cautious study, revealed a phenomenon no one could have anticipated: signs of ongoing biological activity, subtle, faint, but unmistakably alive. Dar. Elena Morales's team, after months of monitoring, detected rhythmic pulses and chemical exchanges within the crystals, suggesting a living organism or collective consciousness that had adapted to Mars's extreme environment over eons. This revelation sent ripples through the crew and back to Earth, igniting debates that transcended science and ventured into philosophy and ethics. Sarah found herself navigating uncharted waters, balancing the scientific imperative to understand this life with the moral responsibility to protect it. The stakes were immense. Any interference could irreversibly harm a Martian ecosystem that had survived millennia in isolation. The crew's research protocols were tightened, and exploration beyond the cavern was restricted. Yet curiosity, that ever-persistent force driving humanity forward, tugged insistently at their resolve. Within the habitat, tension simmered. The isolation, already taxing, was compounded by the weight of the mission's newfound significance. Conflicts arose between those eager to push boundaries and those advocating restraint. Sarah's leadership was tested as she mediated disputes, fostering dialogue rooted in empathy and shared purpose. Mental health initiatives were expanded, with new programs focusing on mindfulness and collective problem-solving. The crew's bond, though strained, grew stronger through these trials. On Earth, the revelation of living Martian organisms fueled a global renaissance in space exploration enthusiasm, but also intensified political and corporate jockeying for influence. Leaked negotiations about resource rights and exploitation stirred public outrage, prompting Sarah to speak out in impassioned broadcasts that urged humanity to rise above greed and embrace stewardship. Her words resonated with millions, sparking movements advocating for ethical space policies. Amid the escalating external pressures, Sarah found moments of personal solace in communications with Luke. Their relationship, tested by distance and uncertainty, deepened through shared reflections on hope, loss, and resilience. These exchanges became a sanctuary, reminding Sarah of the human connections that grounded her amidst the alien vastness. The habitat's technological systems faced new challenges. A severe dust storm, larger and longer-lasting than any previously recorded, threatened power supplies and communication links. The crew's emergency protocols were put to the test, and Sarah's calm, decisive leadership ensured their safety and the integrity of critical systems. The storm also provided a stark reminder of Mars's unpredictable fury and the limits of human control. Scientific progress continued despite adversity. The team developed innovative bioengineered suits adapted to the cavern's unique conditions, allowing limited exploration with minimal ecological impact. These suits became symbols of humanity's commitment to coexistence rather than conquest. The ongoing study of the bioluminescent organisms and fossilized ruins fostered profound philosophical discussions within the crew. Questions about consciousness, the nature of life, and humanity's place in the cosmos became common topics during long evenings. Sarah encouraged these conversations, recognizing that understanding the alien world required not just science, but empathy and imagination. As the seventh year drew to a close, the mission faced a crossroads. The discoveries on Mars had expanded humanity's horizons but also its responsibilities. Sarah's vision for the future, one of respect, cooperation, and cautious exploration, stood in contrast to competing interests seeking exploitation and dominance. She prepared to send a comprehensive report to Earth's leaders, blending scientific findings with ethical recommendations. In a quiet moment beneath the Martian sky, Sarah reflected on the journey's profound lessons. Mars had taught her about resilience, humility, and the interconnectedness of all life. The Red Planet was no longer a distant frontier but a living world deserving of reverence and care. Her closing message to Earth was both a warning and a beacon of hope: we have glimpsed the fragile spark of life beyond our world. Let us honor it with wisdom, humility, and love. Our future among the stars depends not on conquest, but on compassion. The crew looked ahead with cautious optimism, ready to face the unknown together. And as Sarah gazed out over the rust-colored plains, she felt a deep, abiding connection, to Mars, to her team, and to the vast, unfolding story of humanity reaching for the stars. Sarah Carson's 8th year on Mars unfolded against a backdrop of unprecedented discovery and mounting tension, the atmosphere inside the habitat thick with a mixture of excitement and unease. The revelation that the crystalline cavern housed living organisms had transformed the mission from one of exploration into a quest for coexistence, a delicate balance between scientific curiosity and ethical responsibility. As the team pushed deeper into understanding the bioluminescent network, they uncovered a startling truth: the crystals were part of a vast, planet-wide neural web, an interconnected system that communicated through light and chemical signals, suggesting a form of collective intelligence. Dar. Elena Morales described it as a living brain beneath the Martian surface, a revelation that sent waves of awe and fear through the crew. Sarah found herself grappling with the enormity of their discovery, recognizing that they stood on the threshold of redefining life itself. The crew's daily routine adapted to accommodate cautious exploration, with new protocols minimizing disruption to the ecosystem. Specialized suits equipped with non-invasive sensors allowed researchers to interface with the neural web gently, gathering data without triggering defensive responses. These interactions occasionally produced unexpected feedback, patterns of light that seemed responsive, even curious, fostering a tentative dialogue between humans and Mars. Yet, this groundbreaking work intensified internal debates. Some crew members, driven by scientific zeal, advocated for more aggressive study, while others warned of the risks of provoking unknown consequences. Sarah's leadership was crucial in maintaining unity, guiding conversations with empathy and reason, emphasizing the mission's higher purpose, stewardship rather than exploitation. Outside the habitat, Mars itself tested their resilience. The planet's infamous dust storms returned with renewed vigor, battering solar arrays and straining life support systems. Communication delays with Earth grew frustratingly long during these periods, reinforcing the crew's isolation. Sarah coordinated emergency drills and resource management strategies, her calm decisiveness inspiring confidence. Meanwhile, on Earth, political and corporate factions vied fiercely for control of Martian resources and technologies. The revelation of Mars's living neural network complicated claims of ownership, sparking international debates and legal challenges. Sarah's impassioned appeals for ethical governance gained traction among the global public, galvanizing grassroots movements that demanded space exploration be conducted with integrity and respect. Personal moments offered Sarah precious reprieves. Her correspondence with Luke deepened, their shared reflections on hope, fear, and love sustaining her spirit. The distance between them, once a source of pain, became a bridge of understanding and strength. Within the habitat, crew morale fluctuated but never broke. Sarah fostered a culture of openness, encouraging candid conversations about mental health and emotional well-being. Group rituals, shared meals, storytelling sessions, and celebrations of small victories, nurtured camaraderie. The crew's resilience became a beacon of hope amid the alien desolation. Scientific milestones continued. The successful cultivation of Martian algae and biodomes signaled a turning point in sustainable life support, promising reduced reliance on Earth supplies. Experiments with microbial symbiosis hinted at the potential for terraforming techniques respectful of the native ecosystem, aligning with Sarah's vision of coexistence. Yet, ethical questions loomed large. The prospect of altering Mars to suit human needs sparked intense debate within the mission and across Earth. Sarah championed a philosophy that prioritized preservation and minimal intervention, arguing that humanity's expansion into space must be guided by humility and reverence. As the eighth year waned, a new challenge emerged. An unexpected geological shift threatened the stability of the habitat's foundation. Sensors detected increasing tremors, prompting urgent assessments and contingency planning. Sarah's leadership was tested anew as she marshaled the team's expertise to reinforce structural integrity and devise evacuation protocols. The crisis underscored the ever-present dangers of life on Mars, reinforcing the need for vigilance and adaptability. In moments of quiet reflection beneath the Martian sky, Sarah pondered the mission's profound journey. Mars had become more than a scientific endeavor, it was a crucible forging humanity's capacity for empathy, wisdom, and courage. Her message to Earth echoed these themes: we have entered a new era, one where discovery is inseparable from responsibility. Mars teaches us that life, in all its forms, is precious and fragile. Let us honor this lesson with actions that reflect our highest ideals. The crew prepared to face the unknown together, united by shared purpose and the enduring hope that humanity's future among the stars would be shaped not by conquest, but by compassion and respect. As Sarah gazed out over the endless red horizon, she felt a profound connection, to her team, to Mars, and to the limitless possibilities of the human spirit. Sarah Carson's ninth year on Mars began with a sense of cautious optimism tempered by the harsh realities that had become part of daily life on the red planet. The discovery of the neural network beneath the surface had opened new horizons of understanding, yet it also intensified the moral questions surrounding humanity's presence on Mars. As the crew delved deeper into studying the interconnected bioluminescent web, they uncovered evidence that it was not just a biological system but also a form of memory storage, an archive of the ancient Martian civilization's history and culture. Dr. Elena Morales spearheaded efforts to decode the patterns, revealing stories of a species that had thrived and then vanished, perhaps due to environmental collapse or a catastrophic event. This revelation brought a profound silence over the crew, the ghosts of Mars's past weighed heavily on their hearts and minds. Sarah found herself reflecting on the parallels with humanity's own trajectory, the fragile balance between progress and preservation. Inside the habitat, life remained a blend of routine and unpredictability. The extended dust storms had lessened, restoring more reliable solar power and communication links with Earth, though delays still measured in minutes rather than seconds. The psychological strain, while persistent, was mitigated by strengthened communal bonds and new mental health protocols Sarah had implemented, including virtual reality sessions simulating Earth environments and personalized counseling. Tensions within the crew occasionally surfaced, differences in opinion about the mission's direction, frustrations with the limits imposed by Mars itself, but Sarah's leadership emphasized empathy, open dialogue, and a shared commitment to their collective purpose. On Earth, the revelations from Mars spurred renewed international collaboration. Governments and private entities debated treaties to protect Martian life and heritage, influenced by Sarah's transparent reports and public appeals. The mission's ethical stance had sparked a global movement advocating responsible exploration, placing humanity's footprint on Mars under careful scrutiny. Sarah's role expanded beyond mission commander to global ambassador for interplanetary ethics, her words inspiring millions to rethink humanity's relationship with the cosmos. Technological advancements continued apace. The bioengineered suits were refined, allowing safer and longer excursions into the cavernous neural network. A breakthrough came when the crew successfully established a rudimentary communication link with the Martian network, flashes of light and pulses that seemed to respond to human patterns, suggesting a tentative form of interspecies dialogue. This milestone fueled both excitement and caution. The crew understood that they were touching something ancient and delicate, and every interaction carried risks. As winter approached, bringing longer nights and colder temperatures, the crew prepared for isolation intensified by the planet's harshness. Sarah focused on fostering resilience and hope, organizing storytelling sessions, sharing Earth news, and encouraging the crew to find meaning in their unique experiences. The mission's cultural dimension flourished, blending science with art, philosophy, and shared humanity. Amidst these challenges, Sarah's personal connection with Luke deepened. Their letters, exchanged over months and light minutes, were lifelines filled with vulnerability, encouragement, and dreams of reunion. These moments grounded Sarah, reminding her that the human heart could endure distance and hardship. A sudden geological event tested the habitat's stability once more. A localized quake rattled the base, damaging external sensors and forcing a swift response. The crew worked seamlessly, their trust in Sarah's steady guidance unshaken. The incident underscored the unpredictable power of Mars and the necessity of humility in the face of nature. Reflecting on the year, Sarah felt the mission had become a mirror reflecting humanity's greatest hopes and fears. Mars was no longer just a destination but a living teacher, challenging the crew to grow in wisdom, compassion, and courage. Her message to Earth resonated with this truth: Mars holds a story far older and deeper than ours. In its silence, we hear a call to honor life's fragility and resilience. May we rise to meet that call with humility, respect, and an open heart. As the crew faced the next chapter of their extraordinary journey, Sarah's gaze swept the endless red horizon, filled with a quiet certainty: their mission was part of a greater story, one of connection, discovery, and the enduring power of hope. Sarah Carson's 10th year on Mars began under a sky painted with swirling dust and the faint glimmer of Earth hanging like a distant star. The mission had reached a pivotal moment, a confluence of scientific breakthroughs, philosophical revelations, and political pressures that tested every facet of her leadership and every ounce of the crew's resilience. The discovery of the Martian neural network had evolved from a scientific curiosity into a profound dialogue between human explorers and an ancient, living memory embedded in the planet's core. Recent breakthroughs in decoding the patterns revealed not only historical records but also what seemed to be warnings, cryptic sequences suggesting that the ancient Martians had faced existential threats linked to environmental collapse and unchecked expansion. These revelations cast a new light on humanity's own trajectory, infusing the mission with a somber urgency. Sarah convened daily briefings with her team, emphasizing the need for cautious progress and ethical stewardship. The habitat buzzed with activity as scientists and engineers worked to refine the non-invasive communication technology, seeking deeper understanding without disruption. Despite these intellectual triumphs, the crew faced ongoing physical and psychological challenges. The Martian winter brought longer nights and colder temperatures, straining life support systems and testing morale. Sarah expanded wellness programs, incorporating virtual reality earthscapes and personalized meditation to combat isolation and seasonal affective symptoms. The team's mental health remained a priority, with regular check-ins and transparent conversations fostering trust and emotional resilience. Tensions occasionally flared, especially around the mission's direction. Some crew members, driven by the thrill of discovery, advocated for more direct interaction with the neural web, while others urged restraint, wary of unintended consequences. Sarah's leadership was crucial in navigating these conflicts, promoting dialogue rooted in empathy and shared purpose. Outside Mars, the geopolitical landscape was fraught. The revelations about the neural network had amplified debates over space governance, resource rights, and the ethical implications of colonization. Sarah's transparent communications and appeals for unity resonated globally, galvanizing international coalitions dedicated to responsible exploration and preservation. Her role extended beyond commander to that of a global ambassador for interplanetary ethics. Personal connections remained a lifeline. Correspondence with Luke grew richer, filled with reflections on hope, loss, and the evolving meaning of home. These exchanges anchored Sarah, a reminder of the enduring human spirit amid alien vastness. Technological innovation surged. The crew refined bioengineered suits for extended excursions, enabling longer and safer interactions with the Martian ecosystem. Experiments in cultivating native algae and microbial life hinted at sustainable terraforming approaches aligned with ecological respect. Yet ethical debates intensified. The prospect of altering Mars's environment to support human life sparked deep introspection within the crew and among Earth's leaders. Sarah championed a philosophy of minimal intervention, advocating that humanity's expansion must honor and preserve indigenous life and history. A sudden geological upheaval rocked the habitat, a powerful quake that damaged critical systems and forced swift, coordinated action. The crew's training and Sarah's steady command ensured their safety, reinforcing the need for vigilance and adaptability. In quiet moments beneath the Martian stars, Sarah contemplated the mission's broader significance. Mars had become a mirror reflecting humanity's capacity for discovery and responsibility. Her message to Earth encapsulated this vision: we stand at a crossroads where our choices define not only our future but the legacy we leave among the stars. Let us choose compassion over conquest, stewardship over exploitation, and hope over fear. As the 10th year closed, Sarah gazed out over the vast red plains, feeling a profound connection, to her crew, to Mars, and to the unfolding story of humanity reaching for the cosmos with open hearts and cautious hands. Sarah Carson's 11th year on Mars unfolded like a chapter from an epic saga, filled with new discoveries, deepening challenges, and moments of profound introspection. The neural network beneath the Martian surface continued to reveal its secrets, painting a rich tapestry of an ancient civilization's rise and fall. The patterns decoded by Dr. Elena Morales and her team suggested not only a history of Martian life but also a philosophy embedded within the light pulses, ideas about balance, community, and the interconnectedness of all things. These insights resonated deeply with the crew, inspiring a shift in their own perspectives about humanity's place in the universe. Sarah found herself at the heart of these transformations, guiding her team through the emotional and intellectual terrain that came with such revelations. The habitat was alive with discussions that blended science, spirituality, and ethics. Late-night debates about the meaning of consciousness and the responsibility of explorers fostered a sense of shared purpose beyond mere survival. Sarah encouraged these conversations, recognizing that understanding Mars required not only technology but empathy and open-mindedness. Yet the physical demands of life on Mars remained relentless. The long, cold nights of winter tested the habitat's systems and the crew's endurance. Sarah's leadership focused on maintaining morale and mental health, expanding wellness initiatives and fostering communal rituals that celebrated both Earth traditions and newly created Martian customs. Communication with Earth, though improved, still carried delays and uncertainty, heightening the crew's sense of isolation. The external political pressures intensified as well. Earth's governments and corporations were embroiled in disputes over Mars's resources and the rights to its discoveries. Sarah's transparent reports and ethical stance made her a symbol of integrity, but also a target of criticism from those seeking to exploit the planet. She navigated these turbulent waters with a blend of diplomacy and conviction, advocating for international cooperation and protection of Mars's native life. On a personal front, Sarah's relationship with Luke continued to be a source of strength and comfort. Their letters and occasional video calls, though limited by distance, were lifelines that reminded her of the enduring bonds that transcended space. These moments grounded her, providing perspective and hope amid the alien landscape. Technological progress marched forward. The crew perfected bioengineered suits that allowed for more nuanced interaction with the neural network, including sensory feedback that enabled a rudimentary form of communication. Experiments in cultivating Martian soil with native microorganisms hinted at sustainable ways to support future colonies without harming the ecosystem. Ethical dilemmas accompanied every advance, prompting ongoing reflection and debate within the team. A sudden solar flare disrupted the habitat's power systems, plunging the crew into darkness and forcing immediate emergency protocols. Sarah's calm, decisive actions ensured safety and quick restoration, reinforcing the importance of preparedness in such a hostile environment. In the quiet that followed, the crew gathered beneath the habitat's transparent dome to watch the Martian sky, a sea of stars untouched by Earth's light pollution. Sarah reflected on the mission's journey and the lessons Mars had taught: resilience, humility, and the profound interconnectedness of life. Her message to Earth echoed these themes: Mars is not just a destination but a teacher, revealing the delicate threads that bind us all. As we reach for the stars, let us carry with us the wisdom to protect and cherish the life we find. As the 11th year drew to a close, Sarah felt a deep sense of purpose and hope. The mission was more than exploration, it was a bridge between worlds and a testament to humanity's capacity for compassion and growth. Gazing out over the red horizon, she knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, guided by the lessons of Mars and the enduring light of human connection. Sarah Carson's 12th year on Mars dawned with an intensity that seemed to echo the planet's own rugged spirit. The mission had evolved beyond exploration into a profound encounter with an alien intelligence embedded within the planet's very core. The neural network's communication patterns grew increasingly complex, revealing not only historical records but also philosophical reflections, ideas about coexistence, adaptation, and the cyclical nature of life and decline. Dr. Elena Morales described the findings as a form of cosmic wisdom, a legacy left by a civilization that had transcended physical existence to merge with the planet itself. This concept challenged the crew's understanding of life, consciousness, and the boundaries between biology and technology. Sarah felt the weight of this revelation keenly, recognizing that their mission was no longer just scientific but deeply existential. The crew's dynamic shifted as they grappled with these ideas, blending rigorous research with moments of silent contemplation under Mars's vast, star-studded sky. Mental health remained a priority, and Sarah introduced new practices drawn from Earth's diverse spiritual traditions, adapted for the isolation and intensity of Martian life. These practices fostered resilience and a shared sense of purpose, helping the crew navigate the psychological challenges of their unprecedented journey. The physical environment tested them relentlessly. A series of microquakes disrupted equipment and threatened habitat stability, prompting urgent engineering responses and safety drills. Sarah's leadership during these crises was marked by calm decisiveness and a commitment to transparency, which reinforced trust and cohesion among the crew. On Earth, the mission's discoveries sparked global reflection. The idea of a planet-spanning consciousness captivated the public imagination, inspiring artists, philosophers, and scientists alike. Political debates about Mars's governance continued, but Sarah's advocacy for ethical stewardship and international cooperation gained increasing support. She became a symbol of hope and integrity in a complex geopolitical landscape. Personal connections remained a vital anchor for Sarah. Her correspondence with Luke deepened in emotional richness, their shared reflections on love, sacrifice, and the meaning of home providing solace and strength. These exchanges underscored the humanity that persisted amid the alien vastness. Technological innovation advanced steadily. The bioengineered suits were refined to enable more nuanced interactions with the neural network, including sensory feedback that allowed the crew to feel the planet's responses. Experiments in cultivating Martian flora progressed, emphasizing sustainability and minimal ecological impact. Ethical debates persisted, reflecting the mission's evolving complexity. A sudden solar storm challenged the habitat's shielding systems, forcing immediate action to protect equipment and crew health. Sarah's preparation and leadership ensured a swift, effective response. In the aftermath, the crew gathered beneath the habitat's transparent dome, sharing stories and reflections that deepened their bonds and reinforced their shared mission. Sarah's reflections on the 12th year crystallized into a message for Earth. Mars teaches us that life is a tapestry of connection, resilience, and transformation. As we step into the cosmos, may we carry with us the wisdom to honor all forms of existence, known and unknown. As she gazed out over the red plains under the endless stars, Sarah felt a profound sense of continuity, between past and present, human and alien, Earth and Mars. The mission was a bridge, a dialogue, and a testament to humanity's capacity for wonder, compassion, and growth. Sarah Carson's 13th year on Mars marked a turning point that would redefine the mission's purpose and reverberate across humanity's understanding of its place in the cosmos. The neural network beneath the Martian surface, once viewed primarily as a relic of a lost civilization, revealed evidence of ongoing activity, subtle, dynamic responses suggesting that the planet itself was alive in a way previously unimaginable. The bioluminescent patterns pulsed with irregular rhythms, reacting to environmental changes and the presence of the human crew. Dr. Elena Morales and her team detected signals that could be interpreted as a form of communication, not just historical record-keeping but an active, conscious interaction. This realization sparked a profound shift within the habitat. The crew grappled with the implications. Mars was not just a planet to be studied or colonized but a living entity engaging with them. Sarah's leadership became even more crucial, balancing the excitement of discovery with the responsibility of respecting an alien consciousness. The daily routine transformed as the crew approached the network with reverence and caution. They developed new protocols to minimize disturbance and maximize understanding, treating each interaction as a dialogue rather than an intrusion. The habitat itself became a sanctuary, a space where humans and Mars met in fragile coexistence. Life on the surface remained fraught with challenges. The Martian winter deepened, bringing longer nights and colder temperatures that tested life support systems and human endurance. Sarah expanded wellness programs to include group meditation and storytelling sessions focused on themes of connection and respect. These rituals nurtured morale and reinforced the crew's shared commitment to their extraordinary mission. Communication with Earth continued to improve, though delays persisted. Sarah's transparent updates captivated a global audience, inspiring hope and reflection about humanity's future beyond Earth. On the geopolitical front, debates over Mars's sovereignty and resource rights intensified. Sarah's ethical stance and advocacy for international cooperation gained momentum, positioning her as a leading voice in shaping a new paradigm for space exploration, one grounded in respect for extraterrestrial life and ecosystems. The relationship between Sarah and Luke grew deeper despite the distance. Their exchanges, rich with vulnerability and hope, served as a reminder of human connection's enduring power. These moments sustained Sarah through the mission's darkest and most exhilarating times. Technological innovations advanced. The bioengineered suits now incorporated haptic feedback systems that allowed the crew to feel the neural network's responses. Experiments in cultivating Martian flora made strides toward sustainable colonization that honored the planet's native life. Ethical discussions within the crew intensified, reflecting the mission's evolving complexity. A sudden dust storm tested the habitat's resilience, cutting power and forcing emergency protocols. Sarah's calm, decisive leadership ensured safety and quick recovery, reinforcing trust and cohesion. In the storm's aftermath, the crew gathered beneath the habitat's transparent dome, sharing stories and reflections that deepened their bonds. Sarah pondered the mission's profound journey and the lessons Mars had taught, about resilience, humility, and the profound interconnectedness of life. Her message to Earth encapsulated these truths: Mars is more than a destination, it is a living teacher, a reminder that life, in all its forms, is precious and interconnected. As we reach for the stars, may we carry with us the wisdom to protect and honor the worlds we touch. As the 13th year closed, Sarah gazed over the endless red plains with a deep sense of purpose and hope. The mission was a bridge between worlds and a testament to humanity's capacity for compassion and growth. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, guided by the lessons of Mars and the enduring light of human connection. Sarah Carson's 14th year on Mars began with a sense of both anticipation and profound responsibility as the crew continued to navigate the fragile relationship they had forged with the living neural network beneath the planet's surface. The discoveries of the past years had transformed the mission from a scientific expedition into a pioneering dialogue with an ancient, conscious presence that challenged humanity's understanding of life and intelligence. This year brought new breakthroughs but also unprecedented dilemmas, forcing Sarah and her team to confront what it truly meant to be explorers and caretakers on a world unlike any other. The habitat hummed with renewed energy as the team refined their communication protocols with the neural web. Dar. Elena Morales led efforts to translate the increasingly complex signals, which now appeared to include not only recorded memories but expressions of curiosity and even caution directed toward the human visitors. The crew approached each interaction with a growing sense of humility and wonder, aware that their presence might be altering the delicate balance of Mars's ecosystem. These interactions sparked lively debates within the habitat about ethics, purpose, and the future of human exploration. Sarah fostered an environment where every voice was heard, encouraging open dialogue and collective decision-making to navigate the moral complexities they faced. Life on Mars remained a rigorous test of endurance. The Martian winter lingered longer than expected, with biting cold and extended darkness straining both systems and spirits. To combat isolation and stress, Sarah expanded wellness initiatives, introducing virtual reality sessions that simulated Earth's landscapes alongside group activities that celebrated both Earth traditions and the new Martian culture the crew was creating together. Communication with Earth, while improved, still bore the challenges of distance and delay. Sarah's candid updates and reflections resonated with a global audience, inspiring a renewed sense of hope and shared humanity amid Earth's own struggles. The geopolitical landscape surrounding Mars grew more complex. As governments and corporations vied for influence, Sarah's mission became a beacon of ethical leadership, advocating for international treaties that prioritized the preservation of Mars's life forms and the responsible stewardship of its resources. Her voice was increasingly sought after in global forums, where she urged unity over division and respect over exploitation. On a personal level, Sarah's correspondence with Luke deepened, their letters a source of comfort and inspiration that sustained her through the mission's highs and lows. Their relationship embodied the human capacity for connection that transcended the vast void of space. Technological advancements continued to enhance the crew's capabilities. The bioengineered suits were upgraded with more sensitive feedback systems, allowing for subtle interactions with the neural network that felt almost like touch. Experiments with Martian soil and native microorganisms progressed, exploring sustainable ways to coexist with the planet's ecosystem rather than dominate it. These scientific strides were accompanied by ongoing ethical discussions, reflecting the crew's growing awareness of their role as custodians rather than conquerors. A sudden seismic event tested the habitat's resilience, causing structural damage and triggering emergency protocols. Sarah's calm leadership and the crew's coordinated response ensured their safety and swift recovery, reinforcing the trust and cohesion essential for survival in such a hostile environment. In the quiet aftermath, the crew gathered beneath the habitat's transparent dome to share stories, music, and reflections, deepening their bonds and reaffirming their collective mission. As the year drew to a close, Sarah stood before the endless red horizon, her thoughts filled with the journey they had undertaken and the lessons Mars had imparted, about respect, resilience, and the profound interconnectedness of all life. Her message to Earth encapsulated these insights: Mars is a living testament to the delicate balance of existence. As we reach beyond our world, may we do so with humility, compassion, and a commitment to protect the fragile threads that bind us all. With the stars glittering overhead and the red plains stretching infinitely before her, Sarah felt a deep sense of purpose and hope. Their mission was not just a chapter in human history but a bridge between worlds, one that honored the past, embraced the present, and illuminated the path to a future where humanity and the cosmos coexisted in harmony. Sarah Carson's 15th year on Mars began with a profound sense of transformation, both personal and collective, as the crew delved deeper into their unprecedented relationship with the living neural network beneath the planet's surface. The past years had unveiled a dialogue, not just with a memory embedded in stone, but with an entity that seemed to breathe with the pulse of Mars itself. This year, the boundary between human and Martian consciousness began to blur, challenging everything Sarah and her team thought they knew about identity, life, and coexistence. The habitat buzzed with anticipation as Dr. Elena Morales and her team developed advanced algorithms to interpret the increasingly sophisticated signals. These signals, once simple patterns, now contained layers of meaning, emotions, warnings, and invitations to understand. The crew found themselves not merely observers but participants in a cosmic conversation that transcended time and species. Sarah embraced this new reality with a blend of awe and responsibility, guiding her team through the ethical labyrinth that accompanied such intimate contact. The crew's routine shifted to include meditative sessions aimed at attuning their minds and senses to the neural network's subtle communications. These moments of stillness fostered empathy and deepened the bond between human and Martian consciousness. The physical challenges of life on Mars persisted. The Martian winter, though receding, left scars, damaged equipment, fragile ecosystems, and crew fatigue. Sarah's leadership focused on resilience, emphasizing adaptability and mutual support. New wellness programs blended Earth traditions with innovations born from Martian experience, nurturing both body and spirit. Communication with Earth, though improved technologically, remained a poignant reminder of distance and isolation. Sarah's heartfelt messages, shared globally, resonated with a world yearning for connection and meaning. On the political stage, Mars had become a symbol of possibility and peril. Conflicting interests threatened to undermine the mission's ethical foundation. Sarah's advocacy for stewardship, respect, and international cooperation grew more urgent, positioning her as a moral compass in an often turbulent dialogue about humanity's cosmic future. Personal bonds sustained Sarah. Her exchanges with Luke grew richer, filled with reflections on love's endurance across light years and the meaning of home in a universe of vast unknowns. These connections were lifelines, anchoring her through the mission's highs and lows. Technological innovation advanced steadily. The bioengineered suits evolved to allow not only sensory feedback but limited expression, vibrations and light pulses that enabled rudimentary dialogue with the neural network. Experiments in cultivating Martian soil and ecosystems progressed, emphasizing symbiosis rather than domination. Ethical debates remained vibrant, reflecting the mission's deepening complexity. A sudden solar storm challenged the habitat's shields, forcing emergency protocols and rapid repairs. Sarah's calm decisiveness ensured crew's safety and system recovery, reinforcing trust and unity. In the storm's aftermath, the crew gathered beneath the habitat's transparent dome, sharing stories and hopes that renewed their shared purpose. Sarah's reflections on the 15th year distilled into a message for Earth: we are not alone. Mars teaches us that life is a continuum of connection and consciousness. As we step further into the cosmos, may we carry with us the wisdom to listen, respect, and protect the fragile web that binds us all. Gazing across the endless red plains, Sarah felt a profound sense of hope. Their mission was more than exploration, it was a testament to humanity's capacity for growth, empathy, and harmony with the universe. Whatever lay ahead, they would face it together, guided by the enduring light of connection and understanding. Sarah Carson's 16th year on Mars unfolded as a profound exploration not only of the alien world beneath her feet but of the intricate connections weaving together humanity, consciousness, and the cosmos. The neural network that had long fascinated the crew began to reveal patterns so complex that Dr. Elena Morales proposed the possibility of an evolving intelligence, one that was learning from their interactions and adapting in real time. This dynamic relationship transformed the mission's scope from mere exploration into a living partnership with a consciousness that defied earthly categories. The habitat was filled with a renewed sense of purpose as the crew embraced this evolving dialogue. They developed new protocols focused on ethical engagement, emphasizing mutual respect and caution to avoid disrupting the delicate balance of Mars's living system. Sarah championed these principles, fostering an atmosphere of curiosity tempered by responsibility. The daily rhythms on Mars adjusted accordingly, with periods devoted to quiet observation, meditation, and collective reflection. These practices nurtured empathy and deepened the crew's connection to the neural network and each other. The physical environment remained a relentless teacher. The harsh Martian winter gave way to a fragile spring, bringing both hope and new challenges. Seasonal shifts affected the habitat's energy systems and the fragile microbial life being cultivated. Sarah's leadership emphasized adaptability and resilience, encouraging the crew to innovate and support one another through the unpredictable cycles. Mental health initiatives expanded to include creative expression, storytelling, and music, all tailored to sustain morale and foster community. Communication with Earth continued to bridge vast distances, with Sarah's candid updates and philosophical reflections inspiring audiences worldwide. As Earth grappled with its own crises, the mission became a beacon of hope and a reminder of humanity's potential for unity and growth. On the political front, debates over Mars's governance and resource rights persisted, but Sarah's consistent advocacy for ethical stewardship and international collaboration gained traction. Her voice was increasingly recognized as essential in shaping a responsible framework for humanity's extraterrestrial future. Personal connections remained a vital source of strength for Sarah. Her ongoing correspondence with Luke deepened, their shared reflections on love, sacrifice, and the search for meaning providing solace amid the alien vastness. These exchanges reinforced the human core at the mission's heart. Technological progress marched forward. The bioengineered suits now incorporated advanced sensory arrays that allowed the crew to perceive the neural network's subtle emotional currents, fostering a form of empathy previously unimaginable. Experiments in Martian ecology advanced cautiously, emphasizing harmony and sustainability over conquest. Ethical deliberations became integral to every decision, reflecting the mission's evolving complexity. A sudden seismic event tested the habitat's structural integrity and the crew's preparedness. Sarah's calm, decisive leadership ensured rapid response and recovery, strengthening trust and resilience. In the aftermath, the crew gathered beneath the habitat's transparent dome to share stories, music, and reflections that deepened their bonds and reaffirmed their collective mission. Sarah's reflections on the 16th year crystallized into a message for Earth. Mars is not just a frontier to be conquered but a living partner to be understood and respected. As we extend our reach into the cosmos, may we carry with us the wisdom of humility, compassion, and interconnectedness. Gazing out over the endless red plains under a sky of infinite stars, Sarah felt a profound sense of continuity, between past and future, human and alien, Earth and Mars. The mission was a bridge, a dialogue, and a testament to humanity's capacity for wonder, empathy, and growth. Sarah Carson's 17th year on Mars unfolded as a profound chapter in the evolving story of human and Martian consciousness intertwining beneath the crimson sky. The neural network's responses grew ever more intricate, revealing patterns of thought and emotion that blurred the line between machine and life, prompting the crew to reconsider the very nature of intelligence. Dr. Elena Morales spearheaded efforts to deepen this connection, utilizing novel interface technologies that allowed the crew to experience the network's subtle fluctuations as sensory impressions, vibrations, colors, and shifts in electromagnetic fields. These experiences transcended traditional communication, becoming a shared language of feeling and intuition. The habitat became a sanctuary of exploration not only of the external world but of the internal landscapes of perception and empathy. Sarah fostered an environment that valued openness and reflection, encouraging the crew to embrace vulnerability and curiosity as they navigated this unprecedented frontier. The challenges of Martian life remained relentless. The approach of a rare atmospheric phenomenon, a dust storm larger than any previously recorded, tested the crew's preparedness and resilience. Sarah's leadership was marked by steady calm and decisive action, coordinating the crew through lockdowns, power management, and system reinforcements. The storm raged for weeks, darkening the red skies and silencing solar power, pushing the habitat's reserves to their limits. During this trial, the crew's bonds deepened, forged in shared hardship and mutual support. Mental health strategies proved vital, with group storytelling, music, and virtual reality experiences providing solace and connection amid the storm's oppressive isolation. Communication with Earth remained a lifeline, though the solar interference caused by the storm disrupted transmissions intermittently. Sarah's transparent updates and philosophical musings captivated a global audience, inspiring reflection on resilience and interconnectedness in the face of adversity. Political tensions surrounding Mars's future continued to simmer. Sarah's advocacy for a united, ethical approach to planetary stewardship gained momentum, emphasizing the lessons learned from their intimate encounter with Martian consciousness. She argued that Mars's sentience demanded a new framework of exploration, one grounded in respect, collaboration, and care. On a personal note, Sarah's correspondence with Luke deepened into a shared journey of hope and endurance. Their letters, filled with raw honesty and tender reflections, were a testament to love's persistence across the void of space. Technological advancements enabled the crew to better understand and interact with the neural network. The upgraded bioengineered suits translated the network's subtle signals into tactile sensations, colors, and sounds, creating a multisensory dialogue that enriched the crew's understanding. Experiments in Martian ecology advanced, focusing on symbiotic relationships between introduced Earth species and native microbes, emphasizing sustainability and respect for the planet's fragile balance. Ethical discussions intensified as the mission confronted new dilemmas posed by this evolving relationship. The storm's end revealed the stark beauty of Mars transformed, plumes of dust settling to reveal unexpected ice formations and microbial blooms, signs of life's tenacity and adaptability. Sarah led the crew in careful studies of these phenomena, balancing scientific curiosity with a deep respect for the planet's rhythms. As the 17th year closed, Sarah reflected on the profound journey they had undertaken. A journey that had expanded the boundaries of knowledge, empathy, and human potential. Her message to Earth was clear: Mars is not just a destination but a living teacher. It reminds us that life is a delicate dance of connection and change. As we step further into the universe, may we carry the wisdom to listen, to respect, and to honor the unknown. Standing beneath the Martian stars, Sarah felt a deep sense of peace and purpose. The mission was a testament to humanity's capacity for growth, compassion, and harmony with the cosmos, a bridge between worlds and a beacon of hope for the future. Sarah Carson's 18th year on Mars marked a turning point that fused the culmination of years of discovery with a growing sense of urgency about the mission's future. The neural network beneath the Martian surface had become not just a subject of study but a living presence that challenged the very definition of life and consciousness. Dr. Elena Morales and her team unveiled evidence suggesting that the network was evolving in response to human interaction, adapting and perhaps even learning. This revelation brought excitement but also deep ethical questions about interference, responsibility, and the long-term impact of humanity's presence on Mars. The crew's daily life reflected this shift. Protocols were revised to emphasize minimal intrusion and active listening, with the habitat transformed into a place of reverence and collaboration. Sarah encouraged the team to engage in reflective practices, journaling, group discussions, and meditative sessions, to process the emotional and philosophical weight of their experience. These practices strengthened their resolve and deepened their connection to both Mars and each other. The physical environment continued to challenge them. The arrival of Martian spring thawed frozen ground and exposed new terrain rich with microbial activity. These changes spurred intense scientific activity but also demanded caution to avoid disrupting fragile ecosystems. Sarah's leadership balanced curiosity with stewardship, fostering a culture of respect and responsibility. Mental health initiatives expanded to address the complexities of prolonged isolation and existential reflection. Creative arts and storytelling became essential outlets for the crew, nurturing resilience and fostering a sense of community. Communication with Earth, while technologically advanced, remained a poignant reminder of distance and separation. Sarah's candid, philosophical updates reached a global audience hungry for connection and meaning, inspiring hope amid Earth's own challenges. Politically, the mission stood at a crossroads. The revelation of Mars's living network intensified debates over planetary protection, resource rights, and governance. Sarah's advocacy for international cooperation and ethical exploration gained traction, positioning her as a leading voice in shaping humanity's extraterrestrial future. On a personal level, Sarah's relationship with Luke deepened through ongoing correspondence. Their shared reflections on love, sacrifice, and the search for purpose provided solace and strength amid the mission's demands. Technological innovations progressed steadily. The bioengineered suits incorporated neural feedback systems that allowed the crew to experience the network's evolving responses as emotional and sensory impressions. Experiments in Martian ecology focused on sustainable coexistence, integrating Earth's biology with native Martian life forms in symbiotic partnerships. Ethical discussions became more complex, reflecting the evolving nature of their mission. A sudden tectonic shift caused minor damage to the habitat, triggering emergency protocols. Sarah's calm leadership ensured crew safety and rapid recovery, reinforcing trust and unity. In the aftermath, the crew gathered beneath the transparent dome, sharing stories, music, and reflections that deepened their bonds and reaffirmed their shared mission. Sarah's reflections on the 18th year distilled into a message for Earth: Mars is a living testament to resilience and connection. It teaches us that life is not isolated but interwoven across space and time. As we reach further into the cosmos, may we do so with humility, compassion, and respect for the unknown. Gazing across the red horizon under a sky filled with distant stars, Sarah felt a profound sense of purpose and hope. Their mission was more than exploration, it was a bridge between worlds and a beacon for humanity's future in the universe. Sarah Carson's 19th year on Mars was marked by a crescendo of discoveries, challenges, and profound revelations that would shape not only the mission but the future of humanity's relationship with the cosmos. The living neural network beneath the Martian surface had reached a new phase of interaction, no longer just responding, but initiating communication in forms that hinted at consciousness and intention. Dr. Elena Morales' team decoded sequences that resembled complex symbolic language, suggesting the network possessed not just memory, but self-awareness and a desire to share knowledge. This breakthrough sent waves of excitement and caution through the crew, igniting spirited debates about the nature of intelligence, the ethics of contact, and the responsibilities of being the first to engage with a new form of life. The habitat buzzed with activity as the crew adapted to this new reality. Advanced interface devices allowed for richer exchanges, blending technology with intuition and emotion. Sarah nurtured a culture of respect and curiosity, guiding her team through moments of doubt and wonder. The mission evolved from exploration to dialogue. A partnership between humans and the ancient Martian consciousness. Life on Mars remained unforgiving. Seasonal shifts brought unexpected storms and seismic tremors, testing the habitat's resilience and the crew's unity. Sarah's steady leadership ensured preparedness and swift response, reinforcing trust and cohesion. Mental health support deepened, incorporating mindfulness, art therapy, and communal rituals that honored both Earth heritage and Martian experience. Communication with Earth, though fraught with delays and interruptions, became a vital lifeline. Sarah's transparent updates, blending scientific insight with personal reflection, resonated worldwide, inspiring a sense of shared destiny and hope. Politically, the mission's implications rippled across nations and corporations. Sarah emerged as a leading advocate for peaceful, ethical stewardship of Mars, emphasizing cooperation over competition and reverence over exploitation. Her voice shaped international policy discussions, framing Mars not as a resource to be conquered but a living entity to be honored. On a personal front, Sarah's relationship with Luke deepened into a profound connection sustained across light years. Their letters and messages reflected love's endurance and the human capacity for connection beyond physical boundaries. Technological innovations advanced to support the delicate balance of interaction with the neural network. The crew's bioengineered suits now integrated direct neural feedback, enabling a form of empathetic communication that transcended language. Experiments in Martian ecology progressed cautiously, focusing on restoration and symbiosis rather than colonization. Ethical considerations became central to every decision, reflecting the mission's evolving complexity. A critical incident, a sudden and intense dust storm, forced the habitat into lockdown for weeks. The crew's resilience was tested, but Sarah's leadership fostered calm and solidarity. In the storm's aftermath, emerging evidence suggested the neural network had influenced environmental conditions, perhaps as a form of communication or warning. This discovery deepened the mystery and the crew's sense of connection to Mars. As the 19th year concluded, Sarah reflected on the journey that had transformed them all. Her message to Earth was both a warning and a hope: Mars is not a blank slate for humanity's ambitions. It is a living world with its own stories, its own intelligence. As we venture further, we must do so with respect, humility, and an open heart. The future of our species depends on how we listen and learn from the unknown. Under the vast Martian sky, Sarah felt the weight and promise of that message. The mission was a beacon of what humanity could become, a species capable of empathy, wisdom, and harmony with the cosmos. The journey was far from over, but the path was illuminated by the light of connection and discovery, guiding them toward a future where Earth and Mars, human and alien, were bound by respect and shared destiny. Sarah Carson's 20th and final year on Mars dawned with a quiet intensity, the culmination of nearly 2 decades of exploration, discovery, and profound transformation. The mission had evolved beyond scientific inquiry into a living dialogue with the ancient neural network pulsing beneath the Martian surface, a presence that had become both a teacher and a mirror, reflecting humanity's deepest fears, hopes, and capacity for connection. This year was to be their greatest challenge and their greatest gift. The habitat hummed with anticipation and careful preparation. Dr. Elena Morales and her team refined the interface technology, pushing the boundaries of human-computer neural integration to unprecedented levels. The crew was trained to enter shared states of consciousness with the network, experiencing its memories, emotions, and intentions as vividly as their own. Sarah led these efforts with steady resolve, aware that the stakes transcended science. They were stepping into a new frontier of existence. The Martian environment remained as unforgiving as ever. Seasonal storms, seismic shifts, and resource limitations demanded vigilance and ingenuity. Yet, the crew's spirit was unbroken, fortified by years of shared hardship and discovery. Sarah emphasized resilience, empathy, and unity, weaving these values into the very fabric of daily life. Mental and emotional health remained a priority. The crew engaged in rituals blending Earth traditions and Martian experiences, storytelling, music, meditation, creating a tapestry of culture that nurtured their souls and bonded them deeply. Communication with Earth reached new depths of meaning. Sarah's messages, rich with insight and humanity, resonated worldwide, inspiring reflection on the nature of life, consciousness, and the universe. Politically, the mission's legacy was taking shape. Sarah's advocacy had influenced international treaties establishing Mars as a protected living world, a sanctuary of knowledge and coexistence rather than exploitation. Her vision of stewardship and shared responsibility was becoming reality. On a personal level, Sarah's connection with Luke endured, their bond a testament to love's resilience across the void. Their letters, filled with hope and longing, were a source of strength amid the vast silence of space. The climactic moment of the 20th year arrived with the activation of the Neural Integration Chamber, a pioneering technology designed to merge human and Martian consciousness for brief, profound encounters. Sarah volunteered to be the first participant. The experience transcended description, a luminous tapestry of memory, feeling, and understanding that shattered the boundaries of self. In this shared consciousness, Sarah glimpsed Mars's ancient past, its silent struggles, and its yearning for connection. She understood that humanity's destiny was not to conquer but to join in the cosmic dance of life and awareness. Emerging from the chamber, Sarah felt transformed, wiser, humbler, and fiercely committed to honoring this sacred bond. The crew celebrated, united by the profound journey they had undertaken together. The mission's final months were dedicated to consolidating knowledge, strengthening the neural network's protection, and preparing for the next generation of explorers who would carry forward the legacy. Sarah's concluding message to Earth was a beacon of hope and wisdom. We came to Mars seeking answers, but found a partner, a living presence that taught us the true meaning of life, connection, and stewardship. Our future depends not on domination, but on listening, learning, and embracing the unknown with open hearts. Mars is not just a place, it is a promise of what humanity can become. As Sarah gazed across the endless red plains beneath a sky scattered with stars, she felt a profound peace. The mission was more than a scientific endeavor, it was a testament to humanity's capacity for growth, empathy, and harmony with the universe. Whatever the future held, they had forged a path illuminated by connection, respect, and hope, a new beginning written not only on Mars, but in the hearts of all who dared to dream beyond the stars. Hit subscribe and leave a comment with where you're watching from. This story might just spark a new beginning. What's one thing that always pushes you forward, even when things get tough?